Hello, and thanks for joining us from our studios in Tel Aviv. I'm Denise Wood here with ILTV's morning briefing from Israel.
The U.S. State Department is condemning the UN Human Rights Council for having an anti-Israel bias. The UN group recently created a blacklist of Israeli companies that operate in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. The State Department says it opposes the move, which requires human rights officials to make a database of all businesses that have enabled or profited from the growth of Israeli settlements. The UN group has also condemned Israeli settlements and demanded that companies do not do business with them. Prime Minister Netanyahu has blasted the group's move, saying it's turned into an anti-Israel circus, which attacks the only democracy in the Middle East, while ignoring the blatant human rights violations of Iran, Syria, and North Korea. U.S. Senator Patrick Leahy has called for a probe of what he's calling Israel's policy of extrajudicial killings. Leahy and 10 Democratic congressmen are asking the Obama administration to investigate alleged Israeli human rights abuses and determine whether there are grounds to cut military aid. Leahy and the congressmen condemned Israel and Egypt for what they say are gross violations of human rights. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is hitting back, saying that IDF soldiers and Israeli police protect citizens in a moral manner to keep bloodthirsty terrorists from killing them. Netanyahu says the criticism is a double standard that ignores terror attacks against Israelis. The Prime Minister also says the senator's letter should have been directed at those who incite the cruel acts of terror. The rate of Israeli visa refusals by the U.S. dropped significantly last year, and if it keeps going down, Israel could enter the U.S. Visa Waiver Program. Last year's visa refusal rate by the U.S. was 3.85%, down from over 8% in 2014. Israelis currently need to obtain a 10-year multiple entry visa in order to visit the U.S., but if the visa refusal rate keeps declining, Israel could be approved to enter the U.S. Visa Waiver Program. This means Israelis could freely enter the U.S. without a visa for a stay of up to 90 days, which could also help stimulate trade. The threshold for entry into the Visa Waiver Program is 3%, and the U.S. currently has visa waiver agreements with 38 countries. It may be a long shot, but envoys from the Middle East quartet are in Jerusalem in an effort to restart peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians. Representatives from the U.S., Russia, the EU, and the UN are preparing a report on the steps needed to create a political environment that's conducive to relaunching the negotiations. The quartet is meeting with officials from the Israeli Prime Minister's office and the Foreign Ministry, as well as representatives from the Palestinian Authority and the PLO. Their report will define the obstacles to a two-state solution and recommend ways to move ahead. The idea is to rebuild some trust between the two sides and keep the international community involved and in support of the peace process.
That's all for now. I'm Denise Wood, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.